So this podcast might end up being a basketball podcast.
Yeah.
As you can tell, we're all basketball fans. Welcome to another edition of the Sack Exchange here in lovely eastern downtown Anjou Boulevard. That's not Boulevard, dude.
The Sack Exchange. Get Kerouac out of here. Bring in the fresh meat.
Oh, we got rid of Kerouac. PZ Delarizzi, a.k.a. Puzzles, a.k.a. Paul Delarocca, a.k.a.
It's a lot of
EDR.
AKA.
A lot of that. A lot of that. Eagle at the board, Eagle genius that he is. And our new, well, I guess our new replacements, Marco Maciota. Marco,
What's up? Glad to be here.
we're in the Charles Barkley jersey.
That's it. Favorite of,
Hoops over
one of
here,
my
I guess?
favorite. Yeah, we were playing before. One of my favorite of all time.
For those that don't know, Sport Tier Cage is a mini soccer / basketball courts, and we have our own, very own Larry Bird over here in Marco. So, Marco, let's dive into it. Of course, as your first foray into this show, the Sack Exchange that is. Let's look at opening drive here. Your game, 52-46 victory by your R&D against
Shootout.
the Gladiators.
Yeah.
Not so bad for yourself. Well, 227 yards passing, 8 TDs. Frank LeBeau, 7 TDs, 1 INT. Jordan McLaren had 3 TDs himself. Had a
Yeah, he
fantastic
showed up.
game. Albeit, though, you guys were, what, 6 guys at one point?
Well, we started the game with 5 only because Matt Kerouac went to go get someone else off another field, and then he just never came back like the idiot he is.
Was she hot?
Well, ask Eddie Martinez if he's good looking or not.
Eddie Martinez, Latin hustle, my friend.
So yeah, he came back with Eddie. Then we were able to play with 6, and then Eddie subbed in, and then Springer showed up. When Springer showed up, it was 25-20 already. So
Game over. Jamil got some valuable repetitions, that's for sure. To date, was this your toughest game given again? It was a close game. I mean, towards the end, 6-point victory here.
yeah, but it was a 2-score game. Well, yeah, it was it was a shootout. We were going back and forth. They had the lead for it seemed like we weren't getting our conversions, and then we went for 2. We got it. We pushed it back up to 6, I think. But yeah, it was a tough game. We didn't have our whole team. I'm not going to use that as an excuse, obviously. But LeBeau was on. He was able to find the holes in our zones. We had to play a lot of zone. We didn't have our defensive unit that we normally do have. But he played really well, and I'm not going to discount the finest. That was probably still one of the harder games, but they look good, the Glads.
How impressed are you by their offense? Because they've put up some points this year. I mean, 46 in a losing class. You guys, normally that would be a win.
Yeah, of course. No, I was very impressed. Like I said, we tend to like to play a lot of man, which you have to in Division 1 or Division A, and we weren't able to for the majority of the game. They took advantage. LeBeau's a great quarterback. When he sees zone, he knows what he's doing with the ball. And they ran great routes. They were able to get open. And, kudos to them for putting up 46 on what I feel is one of the best defenses in Flag.
All right, fair enough. I'm curious to know, though, are you more surprised that you scored 52 against this team, or you gave up 46?
Way more surprised that we gave up 46. I mean, Glads, as good as they are, they've been known that they can't really stop anyone most of the time. So you always know it's going to be a shootout when you play against them. You got to bring your A game, and our offense did. We started off slow, first 2 plays, but then after that, 40 bomb and touchdown back-to-back, it just kept rolling. So we settled down, and we were able to put up points.
Puzzles, if you were in his position, would you be more upset that would you be more surprised you scored 52 or gave up 46 if it was your team playing?
I mean, I'd be surprised that Kerouac was so unreliable, personally. But aside from that, honestly, I'm not surprised at all in that, just as Marco said, like the Glads are known for allowing a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
They allow a lot of points, but they're also remarkably efficient on offense, and that's what we saw this week. So it's actually it's insane that it went to script with so many players missing the game.
Yeah.
Well, mind you could have used me in the game if you wanted to. But anyway, that's another story.
No one
for
would
another
have wanted
day. Division B, 6 fast guys, or 6+R for those who don't know, winning 25-24 over your lightweighters.
My lightweighters.
Well, yeah, you're on the team. Fred Vian, 4 TDs, 1 INT. Simon Dagenet, 4 TDs, 2 INTs. Now, if you were playing this game, I'm sure it would have been a W.
You can't say that.
I can see that, yeah.
They had Kerouac playing. He's the 2A player of the year in Division 2, isn't he?
Matt Kerouac was crying on the football. Did he tell you a story with him?
He told me that they were down the whole game. He didn't say anything about his performance, although he did say he dropped a few passes. And
He was crying. He hurt himself, cut himself on his ankle.
that's what he said. He's like, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Like,
No, but he was grimacing. He's like, oh my God, my
Such a
ankle. And then I'm like, oh, poor guy. He's like, it's ripped. Marco's going to be pissed that he played in Division B.
no.
And he comes up okay.
Yeah. He called me and he was like, I'm okay, don't worry. But yeah, no, he said that they were down the whole game, and they just came up short. I didn't watch it, so
Kirak also remarked that Simon Dagenet is an odd play caller, is how he put it.
he is kind of an odd
Yeah.
play caller.
Is it his odd throwing motion that is
It's
odd, or
bizarre.
is
I
it
don't
odd?
know what throws me off out there, but I guess because he's so used to his guys in the huddle, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm in there, he has his plays and he has to tell me, like he calls his play, and then everyone goes and he has to tell me individually what I'm doing, or what Kerouac was doing, I guess, for that game. So yeah, it's a bit of a, I guess, a weird huddle, but not bad.
Obviously, I know the team that we're talking about, six fast guys, the quarterback, which we'll talk about later
Yeah.
on, Freddie Vian, who's had a phenomenal season up till now. I'll ask Puzzle this question. Puzzle, do you think, even with the guys that they're missing, with Justin Blanchard not on the team until mid-June, late June, that arguably the depth is very good? I think they're
I think
very good balance-wise.
I think they're a good team, but I think until Justin Blanchard gets here, they will not be an elite team. He's really the number one threat, and without that, the playmaker on both sides of the field who can go make a difference, especially as a rusher and as the receiver that he is. I don't think that they're ready to really be a dominant team. We've seen them get, of the 3 wins, 2 wins by 1 point that could have gone either way. So this is a team that could easily be 1-2,
Yeah, but the thing is that they are 3-0. They got off to the start they need until he comes back.
which
so-
is amazing.
Exactly.
Obviously, I think once he gets
Kudos
back,
to them,
then we'll see them really emerge as,
Right.
as perhaps being one of the top teams in the conference.
so just like
division,
LeBron
sorry.
in his future,
LeBron.
what is your future with the lightweighters?
I told Simon, I said, whenever I'm available to message me if you have space, whatever, I'll come in. I can't guarantee playing 5 games.
I swear to God, when you played with him 2 weeks ago, he had the Ric Flair strut going like,
Like,
you know,
yeah,
style
that's
and
what Matt kept
profiling.
saying, that he was like Johnny Bravo. I don't know, I couldn't really tell, but
Yeah, he looks like
just
Johnny
just
Bravo.
throw me the ball. That's what I kept saying. Just throw me
Johnny
the ball.
football.
I'm almost certain he'll give you a call in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's,
No,
pretty certain.
whatever. It was fun though. They're a good group of guys. Sure.
Can you name me the entire team?
No, I can't name
Exactly.
you one single of their names, which is bad. But they're actually really nice to me.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, I met them that day. So.
Yeah, of course, no doubt. Monstars winning the thriller over the Wolverines, 26-24, pardon me. Rod Mashtub had a pretty good game himself, 5 TDs, 185 yards passing. Tony Tibet, though, 3 TDs, 3 INTs. I look at the Wolverines this year, Marco.
I don't know sometimes with Tony.
Tony, he's sort of that up and down type of guy. Like the last 2 games, he's had the opportunity to win the game on the last drive. He threw an INT against Bearskins and couldn't convert when he had to on the last series against that Monstar defense here. Are they unlucky or just can't close out?
Honestly, I'm going to say that they just can't close it out, because I remember in D3, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, D-Boys versus the Wolverines, and Tony had a chance to close us out on our 1, like 4 downs, and he couldn't do it. So I'm seeing this as like a constant thing that's going, even with Clockwork in the winter season. He was on our 1 and I picked him off to end the game. Like, it just seems like this always happens with him. He can't close it out. So I'm putting it on Tony, 100%.
Peasy, you will play these guys.
I was going to say I'm going to refrain from comment because I played him this week, and I've never actually played Tony yet in my career, so I'm going to refrain from comment until next week. If we win, though, lots of trash talk.
What about the point spread? We'll talk about it later
Yeah,
on.
we'll talk about that later on.
Very, very generous point spread.
But you know what? Like, they should be winning.
But does it
So-
eat away at the team, though, the way that they would lose? If it's you at
Yeah.
quarterback and
Oh.
you lose in the last play or the last series of a football game back-to-back weeks, eventually now 0-3,
Yeah.
does that not kill the team's vibe?
Of course, but it's week to week as football. You gotta suck it up. You gotta play next week, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna lose, but you still want to make the playoffs. I'm not sure how Div B works, how many teams get in, but
Neither do I. Don't worry about it. And I play in Div B.
Personally speaking, I think Div B, it's now become a disparity of
it's
two
like I
divisions.
saw. Yeah, Div A is weak, but so if Tony wants to make the playoffs, he better put on his big boy pants and show up.
Well, he's not. I believe he may not be there next week, which we'll talk about later on in the show.
There you go.
Here's a player that keep in mind, guys: Isaiah Lard. He's my favorite player in Division B, playing for Monstars. Had a fantastic game, a couple of TDs. Peasy, in your mind, when we talk about Justin Blanchard, the impact that he has for his team, and looking at Isaiah Lard and moving forward, I think he's a fantastic player, and I think he could eventually be Div A or Div 1 bound in the year.
Absolutely, and Marco may not be familiar with Isaiah
We'll
because
recruit him after we talk about this.
he will know him absolutely, and probably recruit him in future seasons. But the thing is, I actually noticed him when I was covering Division. I don't know if it was Division 5 or Division D. It was with the Cougars team. I want to say it was a winter season division because they don't typically play in spring. So let's assume it was a winter season a couple of seasons ago. And I noticed him that season, and he was mainly as a rusher. And I said, this guy's just a phenomenal athlete. Later in the season, they started using him as a receiver. Then with Monstars last season, he basically opened up the offense. And I've been saying I don't know who can really take Monstars to the next level to open up that offense, because it had been known to be sort of more of a boring offense, march down the field type. Exactly.
Team,
Very defensive team.
Yeah.
Keep it close and win the game that way. And then once you joined the team, it just became a different team entirely. So I absolutely.
So he used to play with Herminio on the Cougars?
Absolutely.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's a very, very good athlete. Honestly, if you haven't watched him yet, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Marco's gone with speed dial. He's going to call him up afterwards.
I'm going to send Herminio a text after.
When you're missing 14 guys and your Roosters and Doggies,
our roster can't get any bigger anyways, so.
You can tweet at us as well, at Moconteen, at Flag Plus. Marco, your Twitter handle is what?
Masiotra22.
Masiotra22. Peasler, Del Riesler, I always mess it up. So
At P is FPF. It's the easiest one, actually.
I always mess up Terry's.
Who I am and where I work.
Yeah.
Is this really work?
Well, not when you enjoy it this much more. Actually, when I'm with you, then yes.
Sportier Gage here at the lovely Sportier Complex in... who cares about Matt Kirag? He's not here. He's on a Via Rail right now to Kingston.
Yeah,
at Via Rail.
Exactly where now.
Lovely Sportier Cage in Western Anjou, downtown Boulevard over here.
It's far.
It's as Eastern Anjou as you get.
Other side of the world for me.
It is. It definitely is. Let's talk about the pros and cons of Division A. So far, we look at the division itself. You guys are 3-0, so you're now ahead at the pretty much the 1/3 mark, the leader position. 3 2-1 teams. You got the Finest, who, by the way, would be the 4th seed in the playoffs if it were to be today. Crazy. You have essentially the Legends, who are the 2 seed, and Glads, who are the 3 seed. Obviously, that will change in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Legends will play you guys and Finest the next couple weeks here. Let's go with the Legends here. Pros and cons are the pros. Corey Pecker. He is the catalyst of this football team. When he's on, he's fantastic. 11 TDs, 1 INT. When he's off, he's way off. 3 TDs, 3 INTs. How important is it for him to really take his game to the next level as a quarterback?
Well, I mean, he has to. If he's not playing well, they have zero chance to win any game. But when he shows up, he actually does play well. I'll give him credit. It seemed like against the Rainmakers, I watched it. It seemed like he had all day to throw. It was kind of like, I was kind of watching. I was like, is this a joke? Like, where is the defense? But, you know, when he gets an actual defense out there, I find he's a bit flustered sometimes. Can't get his reads. If he doesn't have his first read, he's in trouble. But he's coming up. He's getting better, obviously, and you know they'll go as far as he takes them. Because their defense, is suspect.
Which we'll talk about as well. Puzzles quickly here. Corey Pecker, again, he's been on this year, 11 TDs and wins, 3 TDs, 3 INTs in the lone loss that they had, an ugly loss, you know, to say. Is it on him as being the guy to carry this team as opposed to being a team effort?
I kind of think, he's the quarterback. He's the focus. But at the same time, I think in this team particularly, he's sort of the driving force. And he's not necessarily a guy you'd think that's, never seen an FPF game, don't know who he is. But as soon as you see him throw the ball, you realize there's something special when the ball leaves his hand. It just, honestly, like Marco said, they're giving up a ton of points. And early on in his career, he'd be a team they were kind of team where if you traded punch for punch, they wouldn't do well. So I'll give him credit that now they're at least competitive in those games, and they always have a chance to win. But there are games where they don't get off to a good start, and then they're just lost from the beginning.
Well, I credit them for coming up to Div 1 anyways. You know?
Absolutely.
Well, Div A, let's not give them the full credit.
You're right. It is like, you know, a bit better than D2. I would
hybrid, 1, 2, and 3, more or less. A con, the lack of depth on this football team. I mean, so far to date, I mean, look, Dave Chediak's back for who knows how long. No Ryan Lelinowski, who's out for the year.
Big loss.
In BC. Karan Pelici's played 1 game. Sean Haney's been there. Darnell Lovelace has been there. Could that be their downfall, given, again, that the lack of chemistry being developed and the fact that you have rotating cast characters?
That's it. Like, honestly, it takes a lot to be a good flag team, you know? You need to have that chemistry, and you can't just bring people in and expect to win games. Like, I tried to do it, and we didn't do well our first time, like, trying that with Clockwork. It's just not how you win games. You have to have a chemistry with people. Like, just bringing Sean Haney out there out of nowhere, I don't know how that's going to work out. So you got a bunch of egos then on that team. You're just bringing different guys in, so who knows? Like, there's not enough ball to go around half the time.
Puzzles, you're notorious for having a roster of new guys every week. I think you're on a pace for 125 guys on your roster by the time it's all said and done.
Interestingly, we just put together a list, just out of curiosity, how many players have played for sort of the Moose Darksiders team coming into the season? 66.
Wow.
In so 4 seasons. So yeah, 66 different players.
Wow.
So yeah, so no, it's definitely tough, but it's a lot of times it's that it's not even necessarily chemistry. Obviously, is a big issue, but
Yeah.
it's finding the right guys to fit your team.
Yeah, your system.
is not easy. There's just not a lot of guys of a specific variety available on a moment's notice
Yeah, I agree.
to get out the field, and that's the big part of it. Is when you need a sub, who can you get that fits your team?
Yeah.
Do you need a good rusher or do you need Mokan?
Call Mokan. Glads, a pro. Their offense is fantastic.
Yeah.
We said it before. They could put up 46 in a losing cause
When
here.
LeBeau's on, he's dangerous. Very, very, very.
But did you see how many passing attempts he had compared to your passing
that's it,
attempts?
because we were stopping them when we were going into man. We were getting our stops, but we couldn't go in man all game. We didn't have the personnel. But you saw he would convert on third and fourth, and we kept grinding it, and then they would get it, and he threw a lot of passes, and they at first it was like bomb, 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 and then they started working the field. So, he's a smart quarterback. When he sees zone, he's terrific. So, how many times do you think this guy's seen zone in his life? He knows what he's doing. Like,
he can be blindfolded and
Exactly.
know what's out there. I remember last year they were playing Paul Lapierre's team, which was who's now with the Glass,
Yeah.
ironically enough. And they went back and forth. By the end of it, when it was all said and done, Frank LeBeau had ran almost 60 plays to
That's
Paul's
crazy.
30 plays, and they only won by 2 that day.
it's crazy.
That's how crazy their offense is.
Yeah, no, they're very. They grind it out, right? And he makes the right throws. He's smart. He won't force it.
No.
So, and that's what you want in a quarterback. It's a guy that's smart. If he needs to take a sack, he'll take the sack, even though he never gets sacked because he just stands there and throws like a slant or like a crossing out or a cross play. But no, he's good. That's definitely pro with the Glads. They have Frank LeBeau. So
And hey, you got some good pass catchers on top of that.
Yeah.
A con, in my opinion, guys, is their defense.
Not just your opinion.
yeah, everyone's opinion.
Well, look,
The points against columns opinion.
but like the ultimate question is, can they make a stop first and convert that stop into points though? And that might hurt them if they cannot get an INT or two that will help sway momentum in
But
their
that's
favor.
it. They don't really have any ball hawks on the team. They have guys that can make plays and get a couple picks every year, but they'll never have a guy, I don't think I saw, that has like 8 picks or
No.
7 picks. Like, you need a guy like that sometimes. Definitely game changer on D. I don't think you're ever going to win a championship with just getting a couple 4 and outs, maybe like a year, a couple 4 and outs a year.
Yeah.
so
Puzzles, your quick opinion on this? If you're in Glads, what can you do though to get that defense rolling? I
You
mean,
need to get a couple of guys. You need to get someone who will scare the opposing quarterback.
Keyshawn Thompson, like
Yeah, well, no, but definitely like a player who is known for making big plays, because like you can't be scoring as many points as they score
And losing.
and losing games, absolutely, and especially in a game where you start off and the other team has 5 players.
and we were lucky enough to start with the ball though. So at
Still.
least, yeah.
Still, but, okay,
well, you had
but
incompletion.
you
on the
started
first.
Incompletion, then a bad snap, and our guys didn't have flags. We were all the way back on the one. We still scored on them. So.
and exactly, and again, you start with 5 guys.
Yeah.
So they started against an offense with 5 players, and still didn't get a stop. So I mean, that's indicative of there's no one who opposes an immediate big time threat on their defense.
No, you're right.
Montreal's finest. We go with the easy pro with Kevin Wyeth being the guy, but
Yeah,
I think
the
the
man.
pro is their. I'll be a weaker roster. They'll probably be like White Con's a weak roster, but those guys on the starting 5 receiving core can catch the ball.
They're awesome. There's nothing else I could say. They have Rajdi back. I don't know how that's weaker. The guy's an amazing route runner. He just catches everything. So I don't know
How many balls would he catch on you if you were 1-on-1 with him?
Well, he did. He triple moved me and he got me. But after that, I kind of put my hands all over him, and he didn't catch much after that. And he was real chirpy with the refs. He wasn't happy. Sorry, Rush.
But a pro though in your mind though is their offense. I
Yeah,
mean,
of
this
course.
team, if this team is rolling, they're scoring points. They can be down 20 and
Yeah.
be up by 20 by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah, no, they could change a game just like that, right? Like
Right.
I've seen it firsthand. Up 2 scores going into the half. They start the second half of the ball, and then they'll burn you for 40 with 1 play left to kind of change the whole game. Like that's just what they do. They can do whatever they want with their offense. They're always going to put up points. They're the finest for a reason.
Ultimate con, and I noticed a trend now this year with this finest team, their defense. 3 games in a row they've given up 30-plus points. In the first half alone, they've given up 20-plus points twice now.
Yeah.
A lot of missed tackles here. Look, it hurt them when they played you guys week 1.
Yeah, I think it got them mad.
I think he did. I think we ruffled their feathers, Matt Kirak and I. But I think that could be their ultimate downfall, is that, yeah, they might get an INT or two, but they always miss a tackle and they're giving up points at a higher clip than they ever have.
Yeah.
Even when I was playing, they were doing much better on defense.
Well,
Just saying.
yeah, in the winter, I don't think they gave up 30 to anyone except for us. So I don't know what's going on with them now. Maybe they're just, they're thinking like, okay, we're just going to wait. We're going to win in the finals anyways. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like there's something missing with them, that they're not the same team. I personally felt, I'm sorry for saying it, that we looked a lot better than them that game we played. And
can you say that louder, please?
We looked so much better than them, not just like on the field playing, like athletically. Like, they looked like they were getting up there in age. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Definitely on the surface, but I don't think the finalists really rely on athleticism necessarily.
No, of course.
I mean,
and it's all fun games, like I said, like off this. But when we get on the field, like we go at each other.
Of course.
I think Mike Carrington has you guys in biceps, though.
Oh yeah. The guy's a beast. He's an animal.
Beast. Coming up next here on the Sack Exchange, we'll talk about the quarterbacks in the future who Marco thinks might make the jump to Div 1 and Div A in the next year or two. And we'll do Q&A with Marco and who he wants to play in the Div A finals, if they make it that far, that is, and playing you guys on August 8th. Stay tuned. Sack Exchange here in lovely downtown Eastern Central Anjou. Yeah. A 10-second pause. And then Rob, leave?
Oh, he's right there. English Montreal School Board's DEAL program. Distance education for all learners will allow you to obtain your high school diploma or prerequisites for SAGEP or vocational studies from the comfort
We have 10 minutes
of your
left?
own home. It's never too late to go back to school. Learn anywhere at your own pace and get your diploma. Call 514-788-5937 for information or visit www.distanceed.ca for more details.
Don't worry, we'll skim through these things here and get to it. Welcome back to the Sack Exchange here. Marco Massiotto replacing the VRL Hall of Famer, Matt Kirak, who
one
will
of the
be
greatest of all time.
Serving cookies right now on the train ride to Peterborough.
He serves the finest cookies.
Puzzles. Eagle, here we are. Let's quickly go over Div B. One thing to look at here, do we have our Div B final? And what I'm implying by is that Division Conference B. 4 teams, 2 are 3-0 right now, 2 are 2-1.
Yeah.
You were in this position last year with the Finance versus R&D as being the potential final in a conference final. In your mind, do you think the final has been set now with the best 4 in one side of the bracket, more or less?
Well, I mean, the final's not set because you need Division A, right? You need
whatever, it's formality in my books.
You need Conference A, right? But yeah, no, I definitely think the winner will be coming from Conference B. No, I don't think anyone's strong enough from Conference A to beat any of those teams in Conference B. I think that's a given. So maybe lightweights if Matt Kirak is eligible, maybe, and if I'm eligible, maybe they could pull out one. But the other teams, they look good. So,
Peace, you know this division very well. You're in the eye of the storm right now with you guys at 2-1. In your mind, should they just group everyone as one division? Because you play each other once anyway, and it's not like it's going to make a big impact overall in terms of the divisions.
Yeah, the seeding won't really matter. It would suck if, like, the last team of Conference B, for example, if the trend continues, it would suck if the last team from Conference B would have a much better record, let's say, than the team in Conference A. But I don't think I think it'll level off a little bit. That being said, when I first saw like the teams, I said, you know what, Conference B does look stronger. Then, as we realized, the seeding doesn't really matter, so who cares?
Anyway, make it one division. That's my opinion.
I don't think it'll make a difference. I think the bottom 2 will be the bottom 2 from both divisions.
All right, Marco, you're the expert in this situation as a quarterback that you are, a backup quarterback for R&D.
Who would be the starter?
Matt Kirak.
All right,
sure. Or Jamil Springer. All right, looking at the group that we have in Division B, Rob Mashtoop, 16 TDs, 6 INTs. Fred Morissette, that's your boy, 15 TDs, 1 INT. James Floriani, Fred Vian. 4 great quarterbacks here. Which of these 4 do you think can make that jump eventually within a year or so of playing Div A, Div 2, or even Div 1 down the road?
Throwing-wise,
yes.
I don't think any of them except for maybe Morissette, right? That's his name?
Fred Morissette.
Yeah. I think him eventually, The INTs is what scared me. 6 through 3 games, that's too much. That's too much to be in Div B. That's the equivalent of what, Div 3? Throwing 6 picks through 3 games. I think that's a bit too much. So personally, I think maybe Morissette is the only one that I could see throwing in Division A eventually.
Well, Peasy,
I hope not, because every year we have to move up because of his cap hit. So,
well, I would say him. The one interception that impresses me. You know, that as a quarterback, I pride myself in trying to keep my interceptions down.
I did some stats analysis when I saw the script today that Mo sent, and in terms of the career-wise, in terms of touchdown interception ratio, the top two were Fred Morissette and Fred Viens.
Yeah.
And by a large margin. So.
Yeah.
They're guys who don't turn over the ball easily.
It'll be fascinating to see, though. I think Fred Viens and Fred Morissette, the two Freds, I think, are the likely candidates to move up in the next year or two. I'd say within the next 3 seasons.
Yeah, of course. Let them get better. Like, I think Floriani, I think he's kind of hit his cap.
Couldn't agree more. Just overrated.
You know,
his ceiling.
I think he's a good. Yeah, I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good, solid quarterback in Division 3. Very solid and a good defender. But I think that's his limit.
All right, it's time for our one-on-one with Marco here. Marco, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions here, and we'll dive into it right now. What is worse for your mind, a drop, touchdown catch,
Alex,
or a pick six?
Alex Pasalakis. No. For sure the pick six, for sure, because everyone drops passes. You know, you can't really get on your guys.
But hold on, let's say this touchdown drop was going to break Kevin Wyatt's TD record. And it's your last ever game.
Vince Nardone dropped a touchdown pass for me to make it an interception. That would have been my 10th touchdown pass of the game. I had 9. So that's the worst one of all time. Okay, Vince, thanks a lot, Vince Nardone.
All right, so drop football.
Yeah.
No, but it's definitely the pick six. Definitely. That's because then I didn't even defend it, you know. I'm the last line of defense usually.
Would you rather be known as a really good two-way, the greatest two-way player, or a really good QB?
Well,
he's blushing. He's blushing.
I don't know. Like, I definitely want to keep getting better as a QB, but to be one of the best two-way players, I think would be the ultimate goal. I would assume, you know.
So Matt Schaub.
Yeah, okay. That's Ryan Kastner right now. Pick six city.
How far do I have to walk into the Marco compound to find your two-way player trophy?
Well, when you walk through my garage, there's actually one sitting on the right, so you don't have to walk too far.
All right, fair enough. I'll look for it when I come by the house sometime.
Yeah. You can just control F.
Yes, Terry Tam.
Control F.
Terry Tam.
Here. How much pressure do you put on yourself, though? You're 3-0. Best chance, I think, this year to win and finally maybe dethrone the finest.
Yeah, no, it is definitely our best chance. I put a lot of pressure. Definitely want to beat them. It's when we come to play, that's all we say. Like we want to win Division 1. You know, Division A. Sorry, we didn't put our team in to lose to them again. So, no, I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself, and I do want to kind of put the team on my back and see how far we can go together.
This is a number. Scale of 1 to 10. How much does it eat at you when you lose in the playoffs and can't win a championship that season?
It's the worst feeling ever. It's a 10. When we lost that game to the finest when we went for 2 for the win, that was the worst feeling ever. So
biggest talker in the huddle after a play is who? Let him open.
He's gonna kill me for saying it. I run a pretty strict huddle. I like to look at my reads and see know where I'm going with the ball and see how the play is gonna develop. But every time, for some reason, when he gets in there, Giovanni, he's saying, I'm open on this. If you give me this, I'm going to be open. Every time. And I don't know if it's because he doesn't play that much out on offense, but yeah, it's definitely Johnny. Sorry, Johnny.
It's also always the dude who's known you longest, right?
Well, no, Antonio's probably. Yeah, Antonio's known me longest.
BFFs over there.
Yeah.
How satisfying would it be for you guys to be the finest in the Div A finals?
It'd be very satisfying. I was thinking about this the other day because when Federer won the French Open, he didn't beat Nadal, right? Nadal was already eliminated. So
beat the Swedish guy, Rob Sorlin.
Yeah. So even if we do end up beating another team, it would still be satisfying. But I definitely do want to go through the finals. That's for sure.
All right. For this quickly, cap this off. R&D will win the Div A title because of what?
Because of Matt Kerouac and him sacking Ryan Kastner next week and then sacking everyone else after that. I'm going to give him a shout-out.
Oh, God. All right, PZ, it's time for our Picks of the Week.
Picks of the Week. We'll start off with Maniacs and Glads. I think it'll be a tight win. I set the spread at 5.5 points.
All right, so the way it works, point spread, so you know how to work this. So Maniacs, Glads, 5.5 points.
I take Glads to cover.
I like that as well. I agree. Second game.
Finest and Legends. Finest will win this game by more touchdown. I say the spread is at 8.5 points.
I think it should be way higher. I think they're going to make an example out of the Legends this week. I think it's going to be a beatdown.
I agree. It will be a beatdown. Do they put up 50+ on them?
Yeah, they put up 50+, and they let up three touchdowns.
All right, next game.
Monstars and the Barely Skinned will face off. The spread is 6.5 points to favor to the Monstars.
All right, Marco.
I'm going to take the Bearskins. Straight up.
Straight up?
Yep.
All right.
I'm going to take the Bearskins.
I like the Bearskins a lot, but I'm going with the Monstars. They're playing very good football. Bearskins have not been playing good football.
And the last one, I could not set the spread, so I took a pool of FPF media. Darksiders and Wolverines. Darksiders favored by 10.5 points.
I would put 14.5, actually. I was thinking about that. I was being generous with this. 10.5.
I'll take Darksiders, but I don't think they're going to cover. I think if Tony Tibet is they're playing Wolverines, right?
Yes.
If Tony Tibet shows up, maybe he'll have a good game. Who knows?
Give me the Darksiders, and they'll double that. They win by 20.
Wow.
I hope so, but we'll see.
All right, there you go. What did you learn in today's episode of the Sack Exchange?
That Matt Kerouac thinks that his job is way harder than it is.
Oh, God. Puzzles, what did you learn today?
I learned that Matt Kerouac carries a mean tray of cookies.
Eagle, anything you learned today? Nothing. Okay. I learned that Marco is a fantastic replacement for the Hall of Famer that he is. I wonder where Mike Kerouac is right now. Is he on a train to now Penticton, BC? I don't know.
He's out there.
Thank you, Marco, for coming in.
My
best of luck
guys.
the rest of the year.
It was fun.
I'd love to get you back in here maybe for the press conference down the road.
That'd be cool.
Good night, South Korea.